Hello, my name is Valerie Lastly, and I am speaking from the heart. I am an abuse recovery coach. The last time we spoke, my ex-husband had just asked the minister and elder to leave our home, and I wanted you to think about what might have happened next. I'm sure some of you thought it was going to be a violent exchange, but there was no physical exchange. For the next 3 or 4 hours, my husband ranted and raved about how I had better not ever have someone come to speak to him again because he did not need any help. I was the one who needed the help. I was the one who had the problems. There was nothing wrong with him, but everything was wrong with me, especially because I should have been thankful that I had him, because no other man would ever want me. You know, that's the same thing my mother used to say. No man would want me unless it was for sex. When you start to hear those old tapes playing in your head, they keep you controlled. But now, let's back up. Let me tell you about how I first met my ex-husband. I met him through a girlfriend. He was the friend of the guy she was dating, and she thought that we would make such a good couple. Well, the first night we met, I wasn't at all in agreement with her. But after speaking with her again, I decided to give him a second chance. So we met again. And this time, he was different. He was charming even. And he was very kind to me. I already had a 2-year-old son, and he was kind to him as well. He spent a lot of time with my son. He spent a lot of time with me. And I had no indication that he had such a bad temper. And by the time I saw the temper, I was already hooked. We went for a ride one Sunday afternoon down to the park. And on the way to the park, a dog passed in front of the car as we were sitting at a stop sign. My husband got out of the car, grabbed the dog, took off his belt, and beat the dog. But you know, you see those things and you say, that would never happen to me. It was a dog. Well, we can be wrong. And I was. But people always want to know, why do you stay? And to explain that, I would have to tell you that I had my own issues. I had been sexually abused as a child. I had been bullied growing up, going to school. I was called black, skinny, ugly. Nobody really wanted to spend time with me unless they were trying to get in my pants. You know, the dark-skinned girls couldn't be cheerleaders or anything like that. So, I had my own issues. Issues that I carried with me for a very long time. To look at me now, nobody would think that I ever had low self-esteem. But my sister and I were told almost every day that no man would ever want us except for what was between our legs. This came from our mother. When you hear these things over and over and over again, pretty soon you begin to believe them yourself. And after sexual abuse happens to you at a young age, it usually triggers a period of promiscuity. You identify that with affection, with love. And when I met my ex-husband, I wanted someone to love me. So his verbal abuse was nothing new. Even though when my mother was doing it, I never really thought of it as abuse, but it was. And so that's how things happen. And once you get involved with the person and they start to make you fearful, you stay. And not only because of that, but because I had 3 sons and I wanted them to have a father. My father died when I was 2. And I always felt a void of having a father. And I wanted them to have a father. I didn't really understand that a bad father was really no better than no father at all. Stay tuned for part 3. Thank you for allowing me to come into your home today. Have a good evening. Until the next time, this is Valerie Lassley, speaking from the heart.